Welcome back to the Glam Life Podcast. My name is Victoria Rocca. You might know me as Victoria Glam if you knew me back when I used to participate in Instagram. And if you don't, that's okay because I'm here for you on Mondays on Spotify. Listen, today we are going to talk about building a beauty business that will actually pay you and also let you be the adult, independent woman, or if you're like me, purposeful, thoughtful, present mother that you actually want to be. Um, Today's episode is going to be one of those conversations. Yeah. So you might cry. That's okay, actually. A lot of people tell me they cry when they listen to this podcast. I would too if I had to listen to this podcast. But you'll definitely take notes because I'm actually going to walk you through 15 beauty business ideas that can make you over $100 an hour in the year 2025. And more importantly than the money, yes, there's something more important than money. That's something people who make money say. If you don't have any money, money's the most important thing. Once you start earning it, it's no longer the most important thing. There's a lesson in there somewhere, but I can't articulate it on a Monday morning at 7 a.m. in the rain. But more importantly than the money is the fact that owning one of these 15 beauty businesses or any combination thereof is going to give you back your time. And first, I want to start off by telling you how I got here. Okay. And listen, chances are you may have heard me tell this story before, but chances are also pretty good that you've probably felt very similar to this, especially if you find that your life goals and my life goals resonate. All I wanted to do was be a good mama. I intentionally picked out my husband. Listen, you think he's the first person who proposed to me? Girl, no. I'm not talking about that man. The other guy who proposed to me was a great guy also, my husband was just the one. I knew right away. I knew right away from the second date that we had. Right away from the second date that we had. That's actually very Michael Scott of me. Any Office fans? I knew right away from the second date that we had that I was going to marry this man. And I was only 23. I'd known who he was for a long time because we went to high school together. He beat up my boyfriend in high school. We didn't go out until our senior year of college. And I knew right away on date number two, because date number one didn't go very well. There were a series of misfortunate events. But on date number two, I knew I was going to marry this man. I remember telling my mom that. I was standing in her kitchen and I said, well, I hate to tell you this because, I'm about to graduate college. It's my senior year. I'm 23. Um, but I did meet my husband. And she was like, "You're so annoying. You're so annoying. Like, shut up. You you barely know this man." And I was like, "I know, but when you know. I am telling you, I knew right away." Um, and actually, let's cut to a few years later, which is just a couple of years ago. I was on a beach vacation. My oldest son was sitting with me kind of like in the breaks of the waves. We were just letting the waves hit our backs and we were staring up at the beach. And, he's 4 years old, I think, at the time. Maybe he's 5. And he kind of looked at me very lovingly and he said, "So I guess we're going to get married." And I laughed, how cute. And I said, "I love you so much, but I can't marry you. I'm already married. Also, I'm your mom." And he said, "Who are you married to?" I said, "I'm married to your dad. We're married." And he said, "Oh, how did you know when my dad asked you to marry him? How did you know that you wanted to marry him? What questions did you ask to be sure you wanted to marry him?" That was a job interview. Oh my God. I'm so stupid. I didn't ask a single question. I was just operating on vibes. I was just like, yeah, feels right to me. Let's do it. Let's put our entire lives together. Let's just glue ourselves together legally for the rest of our lives. When you know, you know. So I intentionally picked that man for these children that didn't exist yet. I knew right away that my husband, or boyfriend at the time, was a provider. I knew that he was going to be an amazing father. I knew that he was going to take care of me and our children for the rest of our lives. And I knew that I wanted to have children. I've known that since the day that I was born. There are some people who know from the day that they're born that they don't want to be a mother, and that's okay. But for me, that was a priority and that was something to consider. And it's such an importance in my life that in every decision I make, I consider these children who did not yet exist. Even when I was a stripper in college, you will be hard pressed to find a photo of me as a stripper. You can't find one, and that's by design. I actually was offered thousands of dollars, and when you are 20 years old, wow, what an offer. I was offered thousands and thousands of dollars to be an extra in the background of a movie that was filming something, I don't know what, at our club. They wanted, who's the best on the pole? And they wanted me to get up there and they would pay thousands for me to just be in the background. And I said, no, can't do it. Really need the money. Can't do it. I was also offered probably not thousands. We didn't even get to the point of talking money, but I'm sure it was hundreds to be in the back of like some kind of local rap video or whatever. And it would be me and several girls from the club. They just wanted us up on stage. Nope, not doing it. They took a group photo of everyone during a costume contest during Halloween. And I said, nope, I'll be in the dressing room. Don't take a picture of me because I don't want anybody on the schoolyard 15 years from that date saying, hey, look, here's a picture of your mom. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I have been considering children from the moment I was a child. So, how dare I then go and get a degree from the university, go and get a job using that degree, make A, minimal money, and B, have no spare time to actually spend with these kids I've spent the last 25, 6, 7 years thinking about. Shame on me. So, yeah, I will never forget it. The day that it became truly real to me, I was sitting in my car outside of my obstetrician's office. I knew that I was going to have a miscarriage. I had told the people that I worked with that I was going to have a miscarriage because there was nothing in the ultrasound. It was a chemical pregnancy, as they call it, and wasn't even trying to get pregnant. I was shocked as hell that I was pregnant. So was my husband, and I told them, hey, this is happening. Cramping, crying, bleeding, and fielding texts and calls from people at work who knew that I was having a miscarriage, who knew that I remember thinking, like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I was in the middle of this traumatic, life-changing moment, and my phone was blowing up with people asking me about deadlines and codes and passwords and where's the key for this and what's the plan for whatever. And I physically could not be there. I actually needed to race to a bathroom and get in the tub and on the toilet and in the tub and on the toilet. And then it was hot because you have hot flashes during this. So I'm laying on the cold tile and I'm begging my husband via text to please come home from work and bring me just a cold Powerade. Not a single person asked me, are you okay? How are you doing? I felt disposable. I felt like my value started and ended with what I could actually produce for somebody else's business. And I also knew what I actually wanted, and what I wanted was to be a present and intentional mom. So I'm married now, and my husband and I could have just had a baby. I need to be the mom who can say yes to a field trip, who can be there for the first steps, for the hard days, for a random Tuesday where my kids feel like dancing the hokey pokey in the kitchen. Which has happened. But the way that I was living at the time, the job that I had at the time, there was no way. There was no way. I was going from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. And the worst part is I didn't know how I was going to get out of that because the degree that I got was not going to allow for me to have any other kind of position. And the money was laughable, laughable. And it was a dead end. It's not like I was going to be promoted or earn big bonuses or like that was never going to happen. So every side hustle that I Googled to try and help me get out of this situation felt scammy. Scammy. Like, I'm not going to sell fucking diarrhea tea or whatever. I'm not going to do some kind of like I don't know. What else did they have? Let's see. They had diarrhea tea at the time. They had people who would go and rate apps for money. I'm not going to do that because it was like $2 or something. You could fill out a survey for $5. Like, give me a break. Oh my God. And when even was I going to do that? When even was I going to do that? Please. I realized that I needed a skill set and to turn it into a business and to step away from having to ask people for permission to parent, pretty much. I'm not going to ask if I can have off. I'm not going to see if I can get off to be homeroom mom, to come read to your class, to bring, to go to muffins with mom. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to ask permission to be a mother. Fuck off. So I kept coming back to the same thing. I want freedom of my time. I want income that I can count on. I want to build something that's actually mine. That's the thing, right? But even once I found the beauty world, brows, lashes, lips, I had a new problem. And you may have also experienced this. Nobody actually taught me how to make money. I could have a skill, that's great, and I could charge for it. That's fine. But nobody actually broke down like what services actually make money, how to get clients. How to get clients is the number one thing that students ask me. Nobody told me what to charge or how to figure that out. I was guessing my way through it. I had no idea whether or not I was profitable. Everybody does the same thing. Everybody says, well, I'm new. I have less experience. So I looked at what everyone around me was charging and I took $50 off of that because I don't have as much experience as them. And that is a race to the bottom. Number one, you have no idea if everybody around you knows their numbers. You don't know if they're profitable. I bet you they don't know if they're profitable. Number two, saying I'm new, so I'll just take $50 off. I have no idea if you're still profitable. I don't know if you're profitable at that number. I don't know if you're profitable at 50 below that number. But I do know somebody else is going to say, well, I'm new and you charge this much, so I'm going to take $50 off of that. And now you and all of your local competition, and I put that in air quotes because I don't think that you should be competitors, but you're competing in the same market. You are now all in a race to the bottom for who can charge the least. And you don't know if you even started at a profitable price point. And that brings me to my next point, that nobody teaches you how to keep your books. Nobody teaches you how to keep your books. They barely show you how to run a calendar. So I learned all of that the hard way. Trial, error, tears, and too many DMs, too many DMs asking like, "Hey, are you still doing brows?" Yes, I'm still doing brows. I'm still doing brows now. I am still doing brows now. I also work in a doctor's office every other week doing areola restoration and scar revision, and I've quit teaching. I don't know if you know that. This might be the first time I'm saying it publicly. I've quit teaching. I don't have time for it. And a lot of times people are looking for a band-aid. They're thinking, oh, I'm going to take this class. I don't really need to do the shadow days. I don't really need to pay that much attention in the actual apprenticeship. I've got the certificate, so I'm just going to open my own place. I'm going to get to work and I'm going to take $50 off of what Victoria charges and I'm going to put out shitty work. When I don't immediately have 100,000 people on my calendar, I'm going to quit. So what did we do it for then? That was a waste of everyone's time. That was a waste. And look, I give my students resources. I really do. And I've had some come out who have thriving businesses. Some of them really do. But I have quit teaching. Um, I will only do guidance now on a case by case basis. If you're really, really committed, I will do mentorships, but I'm not going to schedule off a week of my time for 3 to 4 students and do your in-person course and then take you in under my wing and let you come and watch all of my procedures for the next 3 months and give you my online business course and, have you bring in model after model after model all for naught. It's spinning wheels. And yes, it's great money. It is great money. It's tens of thousands of dollars. But my ethics at the end of the day are more important, and I owe it more to the clients. So I'm dedicating that time now at this doctor's office instead. That's what I'm doing. But listen, I will tell you when you care about it, when you try, when your life depends on it, which is really true because look, I put so much money on credit cards, just taking course after course after course after course, guessing my way through all of it. My husband actually told me after I had our first baby, he said, you don't have to go back to work if you don't want to. I can afford the bills. You can stay home. And I was thinking to myself, no, you can't. You have no idea what our bills are. You have no clue. And I was embarrassed. I was terrified he was going to find out that I had racked up whatever it was. I don't even remember. At this point, I've done paid off credit card debt 2 and 3 times at this point. So I don't even remember what the first one was, but it was probably in the 20s, 20 something thousand dollars across credit cards. Um, and I did wind up paying it off. And then I racked it up again when I purchased a building and renovated it. And that took 2 years to pay all that off. And that was a lot of credit card debt. That was a lot. But I had maxed all of my actual bank loan availability just buying the building. So, but eventually I did start getting booked. Like it's not a bad story. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying you have to have grit. You have to want. The stakes must be high for you to care that much. It's too easy to give up. I started getting booked, and I don't just mean busy. I mean booked. I was really booked. And I realized very quickly that if I didn't put some actual systems into place, I was going to get burned out all over again. Just like I had been before, constantly posting, constantly showing up, constantly doing browse, constantly taking a class and learning about marketing and learning more skill set and going here, going there, and being a mom all night. I had a brand new baby. I had burned out, burned out. And it was going to happen all over again if I didn't put some kind of systems in place to safeguard all of that. So I got really serious and I built my systems out. I raised my prices. Boy, I did raise my prices. I created boundaries and I still use them today. I had someone just this weekend who they called me after 5 on Friday. I didn't answer. They sent me a text message. I didn't answer. Then they copy and pasted that text message on Saturday morning. I didn't answer. Then on Sunday, they called the business phone and left a voicemail, and I didn't answer. And then they sent me a text message again on Sunday, and I didn't answer. And I called them back Monday at 9 when I opened. Because you have to have boundaries. You have to have boundaries. Stop playing yourself. I studied business actually like my life depended on it. And to be honest with you, in a way, my life did depend on it because I had created such high stakes for myself. But I mean, I have read probably over 100 books on marketing at this point. I think I'm very close to 100 books on marketing and on business and on coaching. I read books so you don't have to. I say that all the time, and it's true. I break them down for you here on my podcast, over on my YouTube channel. I do it all the time. And I have had multiple coaches. Whatever I'm weak in, I hire somebody who's strong in it to teach me how to be strong in it. That's it. I have more than one business. I need more than one guidance. Not one person can teach you everything. And now I share some of that wealth. I read books so you don't have to, and I do it right here on my podcast. I have muddled through business and marketing and expanding and scaling down so that you don't have to. I have hired and fired so that you don't have to. And I coach women, especially moms who are done trading their life for a paycheck. And I help them build real beauty businesses. And it is one of the most rewarding and honest, well, rewarding. It is one of the most rewarding things that I've done is help other families, other moms provide for their families in a meaningful and intentional way. The same way that I did. I love handing that down. So without further ado, this has been so long. This has been so long. But let's talk about these 15 beauty businesses that if you learn the skill set, you could open any one of these businesses or combination thereof and layer it on top of what you already do or open it as a standalone and actually earn some serious cash. So I'm going to read these because I wrote them down. Microblading, still queen, high ticket, low volume, long lasting. So when I say microblading, I literally mean just permanent makeup brows. Microblading is a buzzword now. I don't actually mean just microblading. Go ahead and say lip lash tattoo as well. That is a specialization all on its own. It's growing in demand and you have amazing repeat clientele, truly. Lash extensions, listen, fast turnaround, solid hourly rate, loyal clientele. Loyal clientele. I have two girls in my shop who do aesthetics, and their rooms are never empty, ever, never empty. And honestly, the barrier to entry for aesthetics is just to go to an esthetician school, and that takes 6 months in my state. I mean, it's not that much in the grand scheme of things, not that difficult. Areola tattooing. I was telling you, I just started doing this at a doctor's office every other week. It is life-changing. It is trauma-informed work. So you do need to be a little emotionally available, but also it's covered by insurance in a lot of cases. I have an amazing trainer suggestion for you. If you are looking for areola tattooing skill set training, you have to contact my friend Shara over at Ink Boutique Houston. She is hands down the best course of any kind I've ever taken. It feels like a girl's slumber party for the weekend, and the support afterwards into perpetuity is amazing. It's always on point, and she's a pleasure to work with, and it is truly informative, and you leave with a solid skill set. And she's always in your corner rooting for you. Plus, she has monkeys. She has monkeys at your sleepover. So I highly recommend areola tattooing, scar revision, um, yeah, any kind of paramedical tattooing. Teeth whitening. Listen, I always hand this out to somebody who is booth renting from me. I have a teeth whitening course. I don't sell it publicly anymore, but I give it to anyone who booth rents from me and wants it. And I also help them source everything that they need for teeth whitening because it is quick, it is effective, and it is highly marketable. Highly marketable. You will get repeat clientele because people are just going to go and restain their teeth, and they will never stop having proms, weddings, child's baptisms, prom. I said prom. I don't just all the events that you're going to take family photos for or whatever. People will come and their best friend's wedding, whatever. Mom and dad's 40th wedding anniversary. My parents are having their 40th wedding anniversary this year. I need to throw something. I need to do something big and surprise them with it. If you know my parents, don't mention this. Also, bridal makeup. Again, you might have to check where you live. You might need an aesthetics license for this. Some people have a just makeup license that you can pay for, but especially for destination weddings, add-on fees, travel charges, big margins, big margins. Wig installs. Listen, medical hair loss industry, and just luxury glam clientele, they pay big money for fake hair. Facts. It's just true. And if you can get into just the install for this, you can make some really, really good money. You can and return clientele. So you don't even need, like I always say with permanent makeup, we need a new ass in the chair every day. For things like this with return clientele where they come to you every couple of weeks, you're in the money with 30 to 40 clients. You're doing great. Same with a press-on nail business. This is scalable. It's e-commerce friendly, meaning you can sell them online and you can be creative and you can sell sets for a good amount of money. Custom press-ons, leave me alone. That's such good money. Private label skincare. So I'm not saying go and join an MLM and sell some bullshit skincare that anybody could sell. I'm not saying that. I am saying you could get into white labeling your own and selling in your own salon as an add-on, or selling online if you want to dedicate your life to marketing this and selling and just fulfilling online shipments. Both are really viable. You can also do, if you're really into marketing, just basically posting on TikTok over and over again. You can get into UGC for beauty brands, which is UGC stands for user generated content. So you can get paid to create content as a beauty expert. And this one is exploding right now because influencers are out. Nobody's buying shit just because an influencer posted it. And as a matter of fact, now they are required by law to put hashtag ad in their caption. So nobody even believes that they actually like or believe in this product now. Nobody believes that. So brands are transitioning to this user-generated content from people who actually use and like the product. Now, get in touch with me if you are interested in this because there's a very specific strategy for this. Book a one-on-one with me and we can talk about it. Next would be coaching other artists. Now, you have to already be an expert at something to start coaching, but if you are, once you have mastered that craft, you can share what you've learned and you can make a great living off of it. I do. I am an amazing coach, actually. I get really good results for my students, which is the most important part of being a good coach. But also, I really enjoy it. I really love it. I don't do in-person trainings anymore, but my online Zoom weekly coaching for 12 weeks is great. My one-on-one 60-minute coaching sessions where I'm just basically giving you a generalized overview of what your strategy should be is another really great launching point for a lot of people who are not quite ready for coaching, but definitely need some direction. Both of those sustain certainly all of my, like those one-on-one sessions definitely pay for all of my online shit. You don't realize it unless you're in this industry, but you pay for so much shit that doesn't exist. I have to pay for a booking system, which I'm sure a lot of you do. That's like $60 a month. I also have to pay for a hosting platform for the podcast. I have to pay for a hosting platform for my intake notes. That's like, I don't know, $50 a month or something. I pay for an editor for my YouTube videos. I have to pay, I mean, like, I have to pay for the software to record everything. I mean, Jesus Christ. Every time I turn around, I'm paying for something that doesn't freaking exist. But I actually am not paying for it. People who benefit from my podcast and from my YouTube channel are paying for it because they pay me for a one-on-one and I just hand it over to, Power Director or whatever I'm paying for. And then when I do the actual 12 weeks of intensive coaching, I'm trading my expertise for a paycheck and it works really well. It's really good. If you want to get into coaching, I do offer Coach the Coach. I don't do many of them. I have to actually vibe with you. We have to talk a lot. We have to be in contact a lot. So I have to really, really want to spend some time with you. And also our goals have to be aligned. So you have to be interested in coaching A for what I deem the right reasons so that we jive, right? And are on the same level. And also, you have to be really dedicated to it. I don't want anyone who's there just for a paycheck. I'm not going to help you because I don't feel like you're actually going to turn around and pay it forward to the clients who are paying you good money. Now, I don't charge what some people charge. Some people charge $20,000 for coaching. I think that is a racket. I think that is crazy. I'm not going to help you do that. I will not be helping you to do that. I do charge what I think is a fair amount for weekly coaching for 12 weeks at a time. I only work quarterly and I only take about 3 to 4 students quarterly. And that's so that I can give you my full focus and attention. I've done it before where it was large scale coaching, contract coaching, and I had 40 to 50 students per month. And I have to tell you, I was miserable. And I wasn't my full and best self on every call because I was exhausted and I was burnt out. So yeah, very, very limited. If you want to be a coach, I'm happy to help you with that. You have to first have already mastered your craft. If you are not a master at something, I cannot help you teach other people. Secondly, uh, it's definitely on a case by case basis. I am not going to mass coach people to price gouge other people. I'm not going to do that. Same for the next one, which is building online courses. Online courses are great. And during the pandemic, they really took off. And there were lots of coaches out there saying, I'll show you how to build an online course. I'll show you how to do it. And everybody has an online mapping course. Everybody has one. Nobody wants it. Be honest with you. Nobody wants it. But if you actually know how to do something that most people need a course to learn how to do, they can't just come and watch me do it once or twice in my shop and say, oh, okay, I'm good. They need to take a course and rewatch it several times and practice and get really good at it. If it's something that's a little bit more complex, then an online course can still do really well. You are still going to have to market it heavily, but it becomes passive income once it's built. And like my online marketing course is something that I was oh my God, I can't even tell you. My online marketing course was the brainchild of having to repeat myself to every single student for 2 years in a row. And they all had the exact same, like, I don't know how to get clients. I don't know how to price myself. I don't know how to put systems in my business. I don't know how to market myself. I threw all this money into ads and nothing happened because you don't understand organic marketing. Well, what is organic marketing? I was teaching the same things over and 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 over. Are you tired? Me too. So I made it my life's work. I mean, this is the best course I've ever made in my life. I put it into a step-by-step, start here, next module, next module, next module, all the way through to retargeting clients. And I think it's fairly priced. It's not thousands of dollars like coaching would be with me. And also you can do it at any time. So if you're up at midnight and that's when your brain works the best, night owls, you can binge watch it and take notes and watch it again later and watch it again later and go back to it when you have questions. And you're not texting me constantly, and hoping that I'm not going to answer you on Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. You can get answers in real time and it's step by step all laid out right there for you with tons of resources, by the way. And it's only like 200 or 300 bucks. It's not thousands of dollars. I think that is a great passive income for me. And also, I think it is an amazing resource for you. So if you're not ready for coaching yet, an online course is the way to go. So I could teach you to be a coach. I could teach you to make an online course. You can coach people or you can passively create income with some of the same knowledge. Next, let's get a little bit back into aesthetics, I guess. Number 13 would be brow laminations. Some people love the lammy look. Some people hate the lammy look. Don't forget, though, it's the same technology. You can also be doing lash lifts, lash lift intent, and then you can package or pair that with other things like brow maintenance, where you're waxing or threading, trimming, shaping. You can get into well, tinting or henna, I guess. People usually don't do henna and lamination, but I'm splitting hairs at this point. As you can, oh, no pun intended, splitting hairs. But as you can see, you can pair that a million different ways. Body contouring. We did this when it first started getting popular, and honestly, I didn't have the room to keep it in the shop, but it was really good money. Those packages make you some really good money. If you want a good course on this, check out Brow Baddie, Baddie, Brow Baddie. First of all, tell her I sent you because I love her. She really, really, really inspired me when I first started my career. I've had her on the podcast before, but she has an amazing body contour course and it comes with a lot of marketing help. She is a former nurse, so she really understands the lymphatic system and lymphatic massage. That course cannot be beat. And listen, you can charge for body contouring. And then finally would be hosting in-person workshops. So we've talked about coaching, we've talked about business courses or courses online. Um, but yeah, an in-person workshop, if you run a one-day marketing course in your shop, you can A, charge yourself rent and write that off. And B, get people in your space so they're familiar with your shop and they want to come back in. And C, actually make a difference because depending on what it is that you're teaching them, or you can rent the space to other people and let them hold courses there. Or I mean, listen, if you're renting your space to somebody who's paying you to do a workshop in this room and somebody else is hosting a makeup class in that room and somebody's hosting a skincare class in that room, why am I not doing this? Because I have a lot of rooms. I could be doing this. You can make thousands. You can make thousands renting your space out. But also, if you are selling an in-person workshop, you can make really good money with that too. And that can be the same thing that you would put into an online course. You're just doing it right there in person. And you can even have an online course or online resources to follow up with afterward. If you want to map out any of these ideas, you don't have to pay me for coaching. You can just book a one-on-one call with me, and in 60 minutes or so, we can figure out which of these are important to you, where the best resources are for them, and then what that looks like for you to put it into practice. And then I'll send you on your merry little way and say, hey, go make $1 million. When you're ready to scale it, to level it up, to market it, then come and do coaching with me. But for right now, take these ideas and run with them. These are some really good ideas. I put a lot of thought into them. I thought about things that have come through the door before, and I thought about things that I have coached people to scale before. So I know every single one of these is something that it is scalable and it is something that's going to earn you a return on your investment. I love you. Thank you for sitting here with me while I babbled and babbled, especially in the beginning when I wouldn't shut the fuck up about my husband. I'm so annoying when it comes to my husband. I am. I love him so much. I'm so blessed to have him. I would have nothing without my husband because he is the backbone to my success. Anyway, cheers. Happy Monday. I love you guys. There is a dog hair in my cup. How disgusting. I love you, and I'll see you later. Bye.